Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday, January 24th. So good to see you twice in one day. I've missed y'all so much. I'm hopping on again. Hello, everyone. Hi, Women's Warriors and NJs. Thank you so much for being here to mod. Peggy, nice to see you. Not a Drama Nana, nice to see you. Hi, Gypsy. Queen Cece, hi, keep up the chatter. Thank you for being here to mod. Hi, Maria Gutierrez. Hello, hello, Marie Hyde. How is everyone today? Pixie V64, Caroline Miller. Hi, Jen Benners. Thank you, my mod. Marie McCall, Crazy Pitbull Mama. Lori Wind. Hey, Justice for Kylo. Good to see you back. Jazzy Butterfly. We are talking this afternoon. Hi, Starlito. Hi, Wendy M. Elizabeth Smith. Fun to Love Nano. We are talking this afternoon about two cases from Australia. And the reason we're doing so is, first of all, William Tyrrell's case. His disappearance was brought to my attention. Hi, Monster Struck Mama and Rhonda West. And he is still missing from Australia. And there's some similarities in the case. And we're going to look at those similarities between William's case and Sebastian's case. And William is still missing and has been for 10 years. Thank you, Patricia Minks. You're very sweet. And then and there's similarities in there. Then we have Khloe Smith, also from Australia. She has been found. Okay. There's also a few similarities in there to Sebastian's case. And I want us to go over both and compare them because we don't know what happened to Sebastian. Hi, Catherine B. We don't know what happened, right? Hi, Miriam M. So I want to look at this case, these two cases. We need to get William's case out there, his disappearance, because they are going to be releasing information very soon. So I just want to say hi to everyone before we get started. We are going to be discussing William Tyrrell, Khloe Smith, both who were missing from Australia. Different times. Khloe was found as safe and sound. William has not been found. He would be 13 today. There's similarities in both cases to Sebastian Rogers, who is also missing from the United States. Something I want to point out is in the United States, we dial 911. In Australia, they dial 000. Thank you, Brandon E. That's very sweet of you. They dial 000. Australia does have Amber Alerts, and this is so interesting. When Khloe Smith disappeared, they put out the government put out a $1 million reward. William Tyrrell, same thing. Australia, they put out a $1 million reward. Now you just imagine in our country, if our government, when we had a missing child, put up $1 million reward, so that would make a difference, right? Crazy, right? $1 million. So the interesting thing about this is Khloe Smith was camping when she was kidnapped, and she was kidnapped. However, people didn't think she was kidnapped. People were side-eyeing the stepdad. Of course, we had a stepdad in there, and the mom, because they said she was taken right out of their tent when camping, and people said, how could you not have heard that? Okay, so kind of want to talk about that, some similarities, and it turned out they didn't hear it. She was taken by a stranger. Okay, and then William, some similarities, foster child. Not that Sebastian's a foster child, but there's non-biological parents involved. He was with the mother, foster mother, and foster grandmother when he disappeared. There has been no evidence of him, no sightings, no footage, no finding anything of his, none of the above. Okay. Um, Law enforcement has had their eye on the foster mother and the foster grandmother and announced that quite recently. There is a current inquiry going on that has ended, and we are waiting to hear the results. So I want to jump into these cases. I want to compare them to Sebastian, who is missing from the United States. And in 2 days, it will be 11 months. I don't want to be here talking about Sebastian in 10 years when he's 26, as we are William. William was 3 when he disappeared, and he would be 13 now. Crazy, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about how things are different. Australia doesn't have near the amount of abductions for children that we have. I wonder if it's that $1 million reward, stricter laws. Their news channels are not open for comment. Okay, thank you. We have some people from Australia in the chat. Miriam M. Miriam, I'm sure you've heard of this case of William and Khloe, correct? So we're going to go over both of them. I just think your government giving $1 million rewards for your children is just amazing. And I think if every country could do that and would do that, that would be just absolutely, it could make a difference in many situations, right? None of the news channels are open for comment here. That's interesting. That is so interesting. Hello to everyone in the UK. We are going to get to some cases here. We are going to keep keeping Sebastian's case in the forefront as we bring in awareness to some other kids as well. And William's case was recommended to me by one of you amazing mods and family members. So we're going to go ahead and discuss it. What is the case you just put? Someone just put down a case, Lucas Hernandez. I don't know that. I know that, but I'm going to write it down. Okay. Little William Tyrrell. Biological parents disappeared, is what I read, which is why little William Tyrrell went to foster care. Rumblings of neglect, possible abuse. Little William, 3 years old, was last seen in his Spider-Man outfit, was last heard roaring like a tiger. He has not been seen for 10 years. Now, one thing that's interesting, and we're going to talk about this, is, we've talked about the law of normal, basic rule of law of normal, and that things that happen that are abnormal when a child goes missing is something you want to pay attention to. For instance, Summer Wells, okay? She had just such a fun-filled day that day. Such a fun-filled day that day she went missing. And I would bet, I'm not going to bet, but I would say that is not her normal day at home with mom, where the brothers stay at home and she gets one-on-one attention with grandma and mom, and they go swimming and they do all these, they get their Slurpee at Sonic and they pick up her friend and they do all of that. Okay. I would probably bet from what I've seen from the mom that that's not a normal day for Summer. Sebastian had a Sunday fun day. Oh, Caroline Miller, interesting theory. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry, that caught me out. Caroline Miller said victim of child trafficking, in her opinion, with William's case. I'm so glad some of you are familiar with the case. So, because we are going to be covering more and more. There's a series that I'm listening to. So as I get more information or they release more information, we will discuss it. Okay. So, little boy, the law normal. Sebastian had a Sunday fun day too the day he went missing, remember? Yes. He was everywhere. Hi, Van Elliott. Van Elliott, we're talking about some of yours right now. I can imagine, Caroline. I can imagine. Um, did you, Caroline, can you explain your comment? I'm not sure what you mean. Hi, sweet sativa. Love the name. Yes, this is an older one, 10 years. So let's stay on track. So here we go. Little William. Little William, who is no longer so little anymore, who would be 13 years old. He disappeared September 12th, 2014, out of Kendal, Australia. We're talking about the law of normal and Sunday fun days because what concerns me is a red flag came to me when, hi, Justin. Good to see you. Thank you for the kind message. A red flag kind of went up for me when we heard that. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought when I saw Justin in here. It's so good to see you, Justin. Oh, okay. Let me get back to it. So William, 13 years old he would be, and let's talk about his fun day. The thing that was kind of a red flag to me is the foster mother said it was a surprise that they picked up William and his sister from school that day and surprised them with a visit to foster grandma's house. So I always, a little bit of an alert goes off, right? Okay, we're doing something that isn't normal, something that'll surprise them because it's not normal, right? Okay, so they picked them up and they drove out to the country. They drove out to the country to a rural area where foster grandma lives for a fun day out in the country in Australia. Hi, Roller Girl. Thanks for being here. Hi, True Crime Junkie. Oh, Gary Jubilin. Yes, I've heard that. I've been reading about him, Miriam M. I've been reading about him in this case. So, similarities. Let's start right there. The area where William disappeared from at his foster grandma's is remote. It's a neighborhood where people all know each other. It is not a high risk neighborhood. And if you're there for a reason. It's not, doesn't have a lot of through streets. Okay. So they're there for a purpose. Now, I want to note that no one noticed anyone else there on that day. Okay. No one noticed that. Oh, Caroline. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Caroline. Did you ever recover her? Your daughter? Okay. So we have William. So William's had a big surprise, gets to go to his grandma's house, foster grandma's house. Okay. And another similarity to Sebastian's case is the foster parents did not want their identity shared. And if you recall, we've heard that a little bit about the P-foots. And we are 10 years down the road of William missing, and they still have not revealed their identity or shown their faces. Okay. Hi, Ginger Girl. Oh, I want to know the story. Whose story are we reading about? I'm sorry, everyone. Hold on a second. Ginger Girl, whose story are we talking about? Is this Caroline's story? Hi, Cheryl Webb. Okay, I do want to hear what we're talking about so I can look up the case also. Okay, so he's playing with mom. Dad's not home. Roaring. Mom hears him roaring. Mom says, well, I went to put him in a tree, but it was too high. Oh, she is alive, though. I'm so glad to hear that, Caroline. And he's roaring, and suddenly he walks around the side of the house, never to be seen or heard from again. never to be seen or heard from again. Okay. And that was 10 years ago. They have had people that they have had of interest. They have had misinformation. They have had a lot of suspects as far as, or suspicious behavior as far as the foster mother goes. And what we're waiting for right now in the case is for a coroner's inquest. It's over, for them to give their for them to reveal the findings of that. And what that is in Australia, that's a public court hearing. It's conducted by a coroner. It investigates the cause and circumstances of a death. So that is being discussed and was being discussed and investigated. And the coroner gathers the information, whether it's from eyewitnesses, from interviews, in order to determine the facts surrounding the death. Okay, so that's interesting because he has not been presumed dead without assigning guilt or liability, and they may make recommendations to prevent similar deaths in the future. Okay, so it's a formal inquiry into a reportable death, and it is not a trial with a jury. Okay, so interesting. I wonder if they have new information that could prove that he's no longer with us, because I do know that police have now, their theory now is that the foster mother, that he may have taken a fall from the balcony at foster grandma's house, and foster mother got scared, covered it up, hid the corpse, because she was afraid she would lose the other child as well. Remember, we talked in our live earlier today about sometimes people, do strange things, right? So if she may have turned an accident into a crime out of having such a fear. And Jays, I want to say thank you so much for gifting those 5 family memberships. I see everyone thanking you. Welcome to the family, everyone. And Jays, thank you so much. So what they do is they establish the identity of the deceased, the date and place of death, the cause of death, and the manner in which the death occurred. So I'm wondering if they're going to come out and they're going to be talking about, are they going to presume him dead, deceased? They can testify, they can call people to testify in the coroner's inquest. And this is Australia, so I'm going over it because it's different. It's different than our grand jury, it's different than our hearings. They can call police officers, family members, doctors, experts, eyewitnesses, anyone with relevant information. So they could call the foster mother if they want. There's not a jury. It's not a trial, and it doesn't involve a jury. It's a gathering of information. And any day now, we are going to hear the result of that inquest. So hit that notification bell and be sure you subscribe so we can find out what's next in the disappearance and search for William Tyrrell. The coroner can also make recommendations. Okay. And that's for public health and things. They're not doing that in this case. And if the coroner believes further investigation is needed to understand the circumstances of the death, that's what they're doing in the inquest. They're trying to inquire and figure out the death, the circumstances. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells me right now that they are leaning towards he is no longer with them. I don't know why they haven't presumed him deceased. Maybe that's what this will do. They may have evidence to be explaining what is going to happen next. They may have evidence to explain why they think the foster mother had something to do with it. Right? Because the proceedings also, this was interesting. The proceedings that were just happening, the inquest, the coroner stopped it. It was supposed to go into December, like the 3rd week of December, and they shut it right down before the final hearing. So the final hearing sessions of the inquest into disappearance of 3-year-old William Tyrrell, who is now 13, has been unexpectedly canceled at the last moment. And this was December 9th. The last week of the evidence hearings was due to resume on Monday, but will no longer go ahead. I can confirm that the coroner has closed the evidence in the Tyrrell inquest and vacated the hearing dates from the 16th of December to the 20th. It has not been revealed when the deputy state coroner, Harriet Graham, will deliver her findings. So we're waiting to find out what she thinks is the cause of death. What are the circumstances around the little toddler's disappearance in 2014? Right? How did no one see him? Did a car come up? Did someone walk up? There have been several theories that have floated around during the inquest. Allegations that the foster mother hid his body, okay? And that's one of them. And she covered it up because she didn't want to lose access to the other child in her care, okay? The foster mother cannot be identified. She denies any involvement, any involvement at all. So when they shut down the hearings, Graham refused to allow Williams' task force to testify and denied police requests to re-examine Williams' foster mother. And remember, law enforcement believe she and the foster grandmother, who is now deceased, are their persons of interest. Okay. So we are waiting to hear what is going to come of this. What are we going to hear regarding William Tyrrell? Do they know? Do they have proof now that he is deceased? They also had an expert in there on the removal of remains from the Australian bush by predators. So I'm interested to see what they are going to come up with. But this little guy is still missing. He is the mom. Law enforcement asked for this inquiry because they want the mom charged with interfering with a corpse, because they believe that there was an accident. He fell off the balcony and she covered it up so she would not lose the other child. Okay. Now, the biological parents had disappeared apparently, and there was some neglect and alleged abuse, which is why William and his sister went to the foster home. Okay. He had a caseworker named Ben Atwood. That is William's advocate. He knows William. He's met William. So this case is very, very personal to him. He doesn't know if he's alive. He doesn't know if he was abducted. He doesn't know if someone took him, who it was. But what he's very upset about, and this is another similarity to Sebastian's case, is this advocate for William said he has gotten lost in the rhetoric around the case. Doesn't that sound familiar? That I love the way he put this, that William is absent in his own investigation. And I love the way he put that, because it's almost like that's the same with Sebastian, right? We're reading all these updates and we're watching a lot and we're hearing a lot, but a lot of it is not about where Sebastian is, right? So Sebastian is oftentimes getting lost in the investigation also, his own investigation, where oftentimes his name isn't even mentioned, right? So we want to make sure that doesn't happen, because we don't want to still be looking for Sebastian 10 years down the road, right? Hello, everyone. Robin got one. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad, RKB. Yeah, I've been wanting to cover this one. I believe CB's the one who told me about it. Hello, Mama First. True Crime Junkie, Morgan Le Fay, Jessica Lynn, West Virginia, Hello Girl. Caroline Miller, I would love for you to email me so I could follow that. what you're talking about with your children, I would love to be able to catch up on that if you feel comfortable emailing me, crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. Please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up. So, what I see in this case is we have non biological parents. We have a mom who was with William last, a foster mom. We also have with Sebastian non biological family members involved. We have a mom who we can't say is the focus of law enforcement, no, but we can say when that she invoked her Fifth Amendment right rather than speak to law enforcement, rather than answer questions, right? Which why would you do that if you're searching for your son? What is it that you were so because you invoke your Fifth Amendment rights to protect yourself from self-incriminating, right? You don't want to incriminate yourself. And so why would you be incriminating? Why would anything you have to say incriminate yourself when your child's missing? That's foul, right? Foul. Red flag foul. So there are similarities. Not a lot of information in William's case. And as a matter of fact, police have kept a shroud of secrecy around the case and the investigation. Sound familiar? Because they're trying to keep what they know private. So, a shroud of secrecy, misinformation, public scrutiny at the foster parents and the foster grandmother. Okay. Lot of similarities. I just really an area that would be noticeable when people come in and out of if they don't belong there. And no eyewitnesses, no sightings, no footage, no nothing. Well, in 2014, probably not so strange not to have the footage, but none of the above, right? None of the above. And if you want to think about something that I want to tell you, some cases that I have covered, and I'm just gonna say it the way I'm gonna say it, Summer Wells. Okay. In the Summer Wells case, her parents have not been cleared. Foul play is not off the table, and Summer's still missing. Okay. Oakley Carlson. Mom is a huge person of interest in that. They believe she may have sold her for gambling money. Okay. Another mother who didn't search. Summer's mom didn't search. Okay. Oakley's mother didn't search and didn't even report her missing. Okay. So parents, person of interest, right? Oakley has not been found. Let's go to Harmony Montgomery. Harmony Montgomery, okay, was not reported missing. Was with her father who did not search. The father has been charged, is in prison for her death, but she has not been found. Notice how when the parents are involved, the pattern that we're not finding the kids, right? Cody Bigsby from Virginia. Cody, dad's been charged. Dad didn't report him missing right away. Another one of those, right? We had an epidemic of that around right after and during COVID. Cody's dad's been charged. He's in prison. But guess what? Cody hasn't been found. In my opinion, there is a pattern. When you don't have, and there's no other suspect in Cody's case, no other person of interest or suspect in Harmony's, no other mentioned person of interest or suspect in Oakley's, and no other mention of person of interest or suspect in Summer's case. Parents, none of them, they weren't searching, and they're still missing. It's just a pattern to me that concerns me, right? Okay, these kids who are outstanding have been gone for a long time, and parents are the last ones to see him, persons of interest, suspicious behavior, suspects, whatever you want to call them. And we're not finding the kids. Even when they're charged, they're not saying where the kids are. So that is my concern about William. That is one concern I do have. Now, is that it could be family because he's not being found, just because statistically it's usually family. And second of all, the pattern seems to be when it is family, we're finding the kids less and less, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if we go over to Khloe Smith, Australia also. Okay. Oh, and one thing I want to tell you, let's go back to William's case real quick. His foster grandmother lived in Kendal, which is 4-hour drive north of Sydney on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, and a 6-hour drive south of Brisbane. It is a coastal town filled with national parks, lakes, beaches. In 2014, the population was 1,100. Okay. Currently, it is 890. So let's talk about that. 1,100 in an area, a neighborhood where you don't go in and out of. People know each other. Population 1,000. Would someone have been able to get in to that neighborhood, drive back there, and drive out without anyone in the town of 1,000 noticing a stranger was there? I don't know. Good question, though, right? That just made me think, though. 1,000 people. You know those kind of towns, a car drives up and everyone's on their porch. They hear it, they know it, they see it. They say, "Oh, who's that?" if they don't recognize it. So that to me is a little bit of a red flag. How did someone get in and out of there? Is it possible? Of course. Of course it is. It's just something that my mind's on right now. To me, it would, I don't know. But that is some of the stuff that we have. They're both lost in the investigation, Sebastian and William. They're talking about foul play now has not been eliminated for both Sebastian and William. They both had surprises before they went missing from their mothers. William had a surprise visit to foster grandma's house where he loves to go. And Sebastian just had quite the day. He had went to the bowling alley to play games and to BJ's and picked up his cousin and hung out with family and went to Texas Roadhouse and went and got snacks from the grocery store, just all sorts of stuff. Okay. Lots of misinformation in both cases. The mothers were home with the boys in both cases. Stepfathers were not home. Okay. Both boys lived with non-biological parents. Okay. And what else do we know? That is what I want to share regarding. Oh, another thing is after 10 years, they say they're no closer to finding answers. But with this inquest, I have to think that they have enough, right? That they're bringing forth, or I hope so. But they don't feel any closer to finding out what happened than they were 10 years ago, is what his Williams advocate said. And that's really sad. And look how cute he is. And I know someone in the chat was saying he looks so much like. What country are you from, Caroline? What country are you from, my dear? And I'm sorry if I'm behind, and I'll catch up in a second. Hi, Carol loves embroidery and crime shows. Hi, Karen Powers. So we have a lot of similarities, and I don't want it to be similar to where we are still talking about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers in 2035, saying he would be 26 right now, right? We don't want that. So we need to find Sebastian. We need to find William. I'm very anxious to hear what they're going to come up with, if they had enough evidence regarding the foster mother and the deceased now foster grandmother. But lots of similarities. And it just seems like a pattern when these kids, when we have questioning, when the parents look sus, the kids just seem to not be found, right? Stepmother, Kyron Horman. Stepmother's the one they're looking at. Years, a decade, over 11, I think. Still not found, right? Little Dior. Parents are the persons of interest. All these years, still not found. However, the little coat they claimed he was wearing when he went missing was found in their home. So just pay attention to the patterns. Now, Khloe was found. Her parents were not involved. It truly was a kidnapper, a stranger. And that is Khloe Smith right there. William was 3 years old when he was taken September 12th, 2014. Khloe was 4 years old when she was taken right out of her tent in the middle of the night, sleeping next to her sister, her stepdaddy, and her mother. Pause right there. Similarities to Sebastian Rogers. Taken while the guardians are asleep, allegedly. And what was the other one I was going to say? Oh, a stepfather's involved. Okay, not to say anything, but I'm going to tell you. What do you think people thought when these two parents were in a tent camping? All four of them in a tent together, sleeping side by side right next to each other. What do you think people said when the parents woke up and said, Chloe's gone? People were suspicious, right? Oh, you would have heard her. You would have heard her, someone grab her, right? So we do have to be careful. We really do. Now, in Sebastian's case, the reason we do question and look at certain individuals, or I do, in my opinion, is simply because if you can't get your timeline straight, we need to be looking at you. If you can't get your, oh, you heard they think she drove his body to a different location. Yes. William's foster mother is also being questioned as to why did she get in the car right away and start looking for him? Okay. Later on, his little sister was interviewed, and she said looking for daddy. So they thought that was a very big clue in the beginning that William went around the house to look for his daddy, who would be coming home soon. Okay, but daddy got home and there was no William. So stepmom had, or foster mom had jumped in the car right away and started looking around in the vehicle. And they said to her, well, why did you do that? And she said, well, I don't know. I was looking because that's quicker. So, and it makes sense, right? So we have to be careful what we poo poo at when these parents are in these situations. But when a parent can't keep a timeline straight of the last time they saw their child and what happened, red flag. Come on. When a parent cannot keep straight the last words they said to their child, in my opinion, red flag. When a parent can't keep straight the last words their child said to them and when, my opinion, red flag. Okay, so here's Khloe. Disappeared in Australia. William's got a $1 million reward because that's what they do, obviously. Khloe, $1 million reward. Okay, everyone's looking for this girl. Everyone's looking. Hi, Brianna's World. Good to see you. I know you have, Robin. You've had the fight. You've had a fight of your life, haven't you? Robin, I think of you often. I think of you often when I'm researching or thinking of these kids. Yeah, it's foster care is we know someone very well who was in foster care, absolutely heartbreaking and affected her entire life as an adult, a child, or as a child growing into an adult, as a mother, everything. Just very much affected her. Ooh, you're canning spaghetti sauce. Now, you know I'm Italian granny to 13. Love my sauce. Do you cook it all day long? We started in the early mornings here. Oh, thank you, Ginger Girl. I appreciate you sending me that. You all, I am so behind in emails, comments, so please don't get upset with me. I mean, I just couldn't get to it this past week, and I want you to know that we still have a lot going on. I needed a day today. You know what I mean? I just needed a day. And I took care of things this morning. After I get off of here, I'm going to run an errand, and then I'm hoping to get back on with y'all tonight too. It's really good for me to be able to be on here and take my mind off of what's going on. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you for coming and listening about other children along with Sebastian. Thank you so much. Oh, Amy Conway, you're welcome. You are so welcome. Yes, please hit that subscribe. It is free. So is the thumbs up, Grandma. Grandma, hello. It's so good to see you. So good to see all of you. As usual, hi, Jen Benners. I'm behind in my, oh, live so close by. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Mama first. I want to read this statement. Even if the traffickers find a child they want, they'll send CPS in and report until the child is taken, then gone. I'm not sure what you mean. Hmm. Carolina, happy Friday. Welcome, Carolina, everyone. It's our first time here. Good to see you, hon. Welcome in. I'm not sure what you mean, but if you explain that, I can try and get it. You know, I have not delved that deep into it, my friend, but I certainly will, Vaughn, because his name has come up and I do want to know because he did seem very committed into William's case. So we are going to be delving into from the beginning of the case and on. Okay. So we're going to pick it up from the beginning again, the investigation, and move forward. I'm giving us a little background on it right now. Oh, another thing that they said I'm sorry, I do have a little bit more on William's case I wanted to tell you. They said that really interesting is that there's really not much to know about the case even after 10 years because there's not a lot of evidence, right? And so there's not a lot to go on. But the law enforcement is now believes that their focus is on the foster mom and they believe they have enough evidence to prove it. And that's what the inquest is about, right? I missed you too, Bluegrass Meadows. So, two ways either they're right and mom has misled the public for 10 years, which we've seen them do, right? Or they're wrong. But one thing I want to tell you that I learned today in my research, and I'm going to research more, is that William is not the only child that was taken from these parents. There's another. Okay. Now, I don't know. I haven't reached out yet. Did they mean taken by CPS? Do they mean taken kidnapped? We don't know. That is why I want you to hit that notification bell because I want to know the answer to that. And I am going to be researching that. Isn't that interesting? So, another child in their care. Please hit that thumbs up. Okay, so we've got the police and the media. The police know what they know in this case, but the public is not allowed to be told mostly anything. Sound familiar? Okay. And they don't owe us anything. I'm going to take a pause real quick because I think I have some thank yous. And Jace, thank you again. Grandma, you joined twice. New member. Thank you, Grandma. And Jace, thank you for your wonderful donation. Good to see you too, my friend. Always a pleasure. And thank you for your hard work modding. Jules to Callie, good to see you. I'm trying to get this one off and this up. Did I get it? Thank you so much for the super stickers, my dear. Oh, I love your picture. That's awesome. That is awesome. So this little guy, it's just a lot of similarities. And if we pull things, is that why neither of them have evidence? Both cases. Secrecy. No evidence. Maybe the secrecy is because there's so little evidence, right? That they don't want to share what they have. Maybe the secrecy is because in both cases they're looking at a mom. We don't know. We know in Williams they are. I have to say, in my opinion, in Sebastian's they are, were, or whatever, because they tried to speak to her and she chose to go silent on them and invoke her Fifth Amendment right. Okay? I'm just trying to get real quick because I quit on William just a little bit too quickly. So the hearings are behind closed doors. There's court orders in Williams' case suppressing media coverage. It said if anyone disclosed even in the beginning, if they disclosed even that William was a foster child, the journalist could be put in jail. They're not allowed to disclose the parents' identity or faces. Let's see what else here. So the charges they want to give to the or to the foster mom and grandmother who is deceased is interfering with the corpse because they believe he accidentally fell off the balcony. She covered it up, turning an accident into a crime because she didn't want to lose another child. Okay. Hit that notification bell. We want to wait for the results to come from the coroner's query. And for us to continue delving into this case, I want to hear about who is this other child that's been taken from them and what else can we find out about this family. So hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And we are now talking about Khloe. So William, mom's person of interest, foster mom. Khloe, so she's sleeping in her tent. It's October of 2021, also in Australia. They're at a campground called Blowholes Campground. They go to bed. Stepdad, mom, Khloe, her sister. They're in a tent. The tent's zipped all the way up, taller than where Khloe can reach. Okay? When they wake up, Khloe's gone, but the zipper's still up there. Okay, what does that sound like? Sebastian's case. Mom's goes to sleep. Sebastian's there. Doors are locked. Wakes up. Sebastian's gone. Doors still locked. Khloe's mom. Her parents go to sleep. She's right there in the tent. Zippers high above where she could reach. Wake up. She's gone. Zipper's still up there. Okay. Now, people, of course, started to think there's no way that 4-year-old was grabbed out of that tent away from another child and two parents in a small little tent without anyone hearing. Foul play, foul play. There's a stepdad. The parents did it. And you can imagine how it went, right? And guess what happened? Guess what happened? They started to investigate, right? They are investigating. They call in for help. They're searching. $1 million reward from the Australia comes out again. That's just an amazing policy, by the way, that they do that. Okay? $1 million reward, just like William has. Okay? People are already looking at the parents, of course, and it's October, and They're searching, they haven't found her. 1 week goes by, still haven't found her. 2 weeks go by, Khloe Smith, 4 years old, still not found. People pointing fingers at the stepdad, pointing fingers at the mom. There's no way you couldn't have heard that, right? And we need to be careful because we've said that in this case with Sebastian. And I'm not saying, believe me, in my opinion, when a parent cannot get a timeline correct, they should be looked at. When a parent can't get the last words they said to their child and when correct, or not correct, one answer to that, that should be looked at. It just bothers me. Or when your child spoke to you and what they said last to you. When those things change, that's concerning, okay? So this little girl, they call, they're looking. We're now 8. They're looking, they've got their $1 million reward up. They're doing cell phone pings. They've got notice that a car was seen pulling off Blowholes Campground Road, Blowholes Road. They're investigating. There's a reward. They're everywhere. Okay? And guess what happens? That phone ping and that tip about that car going down Blowholes Road led investigators 18 days after little Khloe Smith was missing to kick in the door of a home that was just meters close to her family home. Okay? And there they found her. Now, you want to hear the weird thing? This is really creepy. By the way, Khloe is safe. This is Khloe now. Okay? Khloe now would be 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. Okay? So look at how happy she is. And I brought this up because I know there's things that we see in cases, and I know we are hardened to the parents who call missing and it's not missing. Their children aren't missing. But in some cases, like Chloe's family, they were being truthful because we do have once in a while where a stranger creeps in, right? I mean, think of Polly Kloss. Think of Elizabeth Smart. I hope Summer's alive, Caroline. I hope when they search Tennessee in spring and summer that she is found. So many children missing. Please hit the the thumbs up button. Please, 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 if you would be so kind to. So they find this little girl. Now, this is really creepy. Okay. She's locked in a room in the home. And she's home by herself. The home of 37-year-old Terrence Darrell Kelly. Well, Terrence took Khloe. You sure right. He snuck into that campground. He unzipped a tent. He took a 4-year-old away from 3 sleeping family members and zipped that tent back up and went away with her. A stranger. Statistically 1%, right? Chloe's our 1%. But what I want to point out to you is what I said earlier, right? Khloe was found. Khloe was taken by a stranger, and Khloe was what? Found. William's foster mother is a suspect. William has not been found for 10 years. Kyron Horman's stepmother is the person of interest, has not been found in 11 years, I believe. Summer Wells' parents have not been cleared. Very suspicious, in my opinion. Not been cleared. Summer has not been found. Harmony Montgomery has not been found. Yeah, sure enough. Dad's charged. Dad's guilty. Dad unalived her. But again, a parent responsible. Still haven't found the child. Cody Bigsby again. Same thing. Dad's in prison. Cody hasn't been found. All family members. And I'm saying this because I want us to think about this for a second. Khloe taken by a stranger and found. William, Summer, Oakley, Harmony, Cody, and so many more taken. We don't know, but families are the number one persons of interest, and none of those children were found. Which way is it going to go with Sebastian? Are we going to find Sebastian, or are we going to 10 years down the road still be looking? I vote we're going to find him. There's so many people looking, so high profile, and I'm hoping. But I want us to understand the correlation between kids who are often not found, their families being persons of interest, and the statistics of that's usually the case, and the 1% like Khloe Smith, Elizabeth Smart, who were taken by strangers and found. Okay? Kind of see that correlation? That's kind of where I'm going with it. So we got this little girl, they kick in the door. Crazy. Yes, we are Sebastian's army. We are Sebastian strong. Yes, there women's wear. I like your comment. And I'm behind in comments, so I'm going to catch up real quick. I'm leaving you with the cliffhanger as to what they found when they found little Khloe locked in that room behind a closed door. Jay, they appear to be criminal masterminds. If they can't find them, there has got to possibly be certain steps law enforcement's missing that hinders the investigation, right? So what is it? What is it when the parents are involved that keeps us from finding the children? And what I keep going back to is planning. They have time to plan. They know areas, they know where they're going to take them. They know where they could possibly put them and them not be found. I mean, for Pete's sake, look at Gannon, step parent. Okay, they found Gannon. She took him all the way to Florida, put him in a suitcase. Okay. Oh, Caroline, good. I'm very glad to hear that, my friend. You live in a small city. Most people never hear about. Trafficking is our biggest problem. Oh, wow. Okay. Mods, are you watching the chat? Mods, please watch the chat if you don't mind. We've got some hateful comments coming in. Okay. Trafficking is terrible. Yes. Yes, Cinderella. This is a great point. Khloe's stepdad got on TV and made a heartfelt emotional plea for his stepdaughter. Think about that. We think about that. That's amazing, right? Okay. And they said quickly, they cooperating. They weren't invoking the fifth. They weren't changing their stories. They weren't changing their timelines. They weren't, it's just a mess. And when that happens, when that mess happens, it becomes messy. And it becomes messy because someone doesn't know how to tell the full truth. Okay. And you have to have law enforcement. Like I said this morning, you can't have Boy Scouts who are trying to go to war looking for a missing kid. Boy Scouts aren't prepared, and that's what I'm afraid we ended up with at Sumner County. Okay. Or they looked away, or they need to go back into training, in my opinion. Okay. And Jace, you're such a sweetheart. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Such a sweetheart. All of you, thank you so much. I love my sauce, Caroline. You bet. It's funny. Oh, Mama first. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. We're talking pasta sauces, spaghetti sauces. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you telling me it's a great show because I really do want to bring awareness to other children too and connecting to what we're looking at in current cases. And that's what I'm trying to do right now with this is, what are we seeing that reminds us of what's happening with Sebastian? Okay. So, hi, Poppy Love. It's great to see you. Hey, Remy Stuff. Ooh, rose. Ooh, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Robin, Robin, thank you for warning me. But I want to know what you're going through, my friend, so I can be there for you. Thanks, Jen Benners. Thank you. It's good seeing you guys too. They kicked the door in. They've gotten the one ping from a cell phone tower that had only been put up 3 years before, maybe even 2.5. Okay. So they get the ping off the tower. They get the lead that a car was on Blowholes Road. The campground is also called Blowhose. Okay. And they kick in the door. They find this little girl behind a closed, locked door, locked in with a mattress on the floor. She's been there 18 days, remember. Locked in a room with a whole bunch of Bratz dolls. Do you remember the Bratz dolls? The long hair, they kind of look like teenagers. He collected them. That terrified me when I heard that because I thought, oh my gosh, I was so afraid of what possibly, oh, Jen Benners, it's always great to see you, my friend, what possibly he could have been doing, right? Could have done. And from what we've been told or haven't been told, he did not harm her in that way. He only roughed her up a little bit when she got bossy, apparently, and slapped her once when she asked for chocolate. Or roughed her up when she cried, slapped her when she asked for chocolate and got bossy, but he didn't want to harm her because she was fulfilling his fantasy, just like the dolls. So what they said is the dolls, those grown-up little girl dolls, brats, that's a fantasy for him. And he was bringing a fantasy to life by getting Khloe out of that tent, bringing her home, and bringing the fantasy to life. He could play dress up in house. Okay, that's why he did not hurt her. He didn't take her to hurt her. He took her to play house, to have a little girl to dress up and play with. He had a very disturbing childhood. He was taken to jail and charged with kidnapping. And what apparently happened is he had, now they said, I don't know, do you shoot up meth? I'm sorry, you guys. He was on meth that night. I don't know. I thought they said he shot up meth, but I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, he was doing meth that night and was like in some phase that meth would put you in. And that's when he went looking and he took her. And he said he was going to gag her with this sticky tape and stuff and tie her hands and her feet, but she was too much of a fighter for him to be able to do that. Wow, right? Another similarity to Sebastian's case. I know it's a stranger and she was found, but I want you to see that irony again is that mom woke up at 6 a.m. and didn't find Khloe. Sebastian's mom woke up and didn't find Sebastian at 6 a.m. This guy, he was only given 13, convicted of child abduction. And it was a very rare recovery, right? Because how often do you recover a child after 18 days? Well, again, we did with Elizabeth Smart and several others. It has happened. It does happen, which is why we say don't give up on these kids. They're never forgotten. We can't give up. And if someone doesn't show us proof of death, we have to remember there could be proof of life because children are not all statistics. Statistics are numbers, right? Children are people, and sometimes they defy those odds, and we have to remember that. Tears Ran Dry. Hi, welcome in. Everyone, please welcome Tears Ran Dry. She just subbed up to our community. Thank you. Welcome in. I was talking to someone, Miriam M. from foster care, and they have a real hard time with CPS because the way they drop the ball and their children get into trouble. They found Khloe in his home. He was not far at all from her family home, and she was locked in a room. And when the police officers opened the door, this is the sweetest story. They said to her, "What's your name?" And she says, "Hi, my name is Khloe." And that was the headlines for days. "Hi, my name is Khloe." Please hit that likes up button if you would. Hi, dear aunt. If it comes out, the reward goes to a setup fake person so Footsucks can get it. Yes, dear aunt, it would make me upset too, except for one fact. I don't care who gets the reward as long as it leads us to Sebastian. If Sebastian is located, whether it's rescue, recovery, whatever happens, I grab the reward because that means you led us to him. You gave us information and you're going to give us more to convict those people, right? Hopefully. Yeah, I'm wondering that too. So they come dressed as CPS workers, steal the child on the fifth visit? I'm not sure what we're talking about there, but I would love to know that. Sweet Sativa, you don't believe he was trafficked. Okay. A 3-year-old victim would have very little memory. Yes. Smash that like button, please, if you would. Subscribe up to the channel, please. Yeah, it was a home not far from her home. It was a 37-year-old guy. He had taken meth and he got her out. And there was $1 million reward. The stepdad did a very emotional plea. Very emotional plea. Okay. And she was very, very close to her family home. Okay. Crazy. But I'm so glad she was found. And I never heard if anyone got the reward for that or if the phone ping is what led them. Because someone reported a tip about the car. So I never heard if they got that reward. Okay. So he was indeed fulfilling a fantasy. And so this is Khloe now. Khloe I guess she's 7 years old now, or she would be 8 this year. She loves gymnastics. She has medals and ribbons from gymnastics. She's very, very happy girl. Last year, about a year ago, she was still dealing with nightmares, some sadness, some fears in the night. And this past year, it's getting a little better, enjoying gymnastics, getting ribbons and medals, and look at that smile on that sweetheart. Okay. But of course, it will affect her for the rest of her life because it's traumatic. 18 days away from your family with a creeper playing dolls with you, and crazy, right? So, got that. And that is the little angel who was found. And another thing they said is she heard on the radio her name. So she started saying to him, "They're saying my name." And he didn't like that. But he started turning the radio up real loud when she would cry from when missing her mother. So great story. Happy ending. We want a happy ending with Sebastian. We do. And please remember, it's never too late. Remember JC DeGard? How many years was she missing? Was it 20? She had 2 kids, right? She had children even. Elizabeth Smart, I believe it was 9 months. People come home. There was just a story about a month ago. Remember the 2 brothers who were reunited right before one passed away, actually, after 80 years? The one was kidnapped 80 years prior. I mean, that's crazy. Remember last year, the baby who was found the parents died in the woods and they never found their baby. The family never found their child. And 40 years later, a family was raising this child perfectly safe, unharmed, and she had no idea she wasn't with her, that she had been taken. So it happens. It does happen. I'm sorry if I have echoes. I shouldn't have any echoes. I don't have anything. Yeah, we are going to be silent one could have. Could have. Hi, a fatal paper cut. Good to see you. Is there an echo? Is it a bad echo? Yes, it was a high balcony at foster grandmother's home. And remember, we don't even know their names. Horman's neighbor had a huge burning container about 500 feet from his home. Terry Horman was seen on Google attending a huge blaze. Oh my. And she had asked the judge to change her name and all that stuff, and she moved, and great when you can change your life and start over, but she left parents with forever hole in their hearts. Maj, you're doing a great job. I know the Khloe case, so I won't give the answer away, but he was weird in my opinion. Thank God she was found alive. A weirdo. Let me tell you, 21 quarts can. Granny, you rock. You better put those feet up. Yes. What was I saying? She was found alive, and he is a weirdo. And because of the childhood he had, I guess he had a really weird childhood. He was 37 when this happened, but he got 13 years and 6 months for convicted of child abduction. Okay. And he will not be ready for parole. He must serve 11 years and 6 months. He lived in state housing in a duplex, and that's where they found her. Okay. So that's just crazy. 11 years. Well, I guess they made allowances for the life he had and some of the mental problems he has. Hopefully, they're getting him help, right? Hmm. So they traced the cell tower, the cell phone, the cell number from the phone tower. Wow. Great investigation. I would love to see that in Sebastian's case. And I'm going to end by saying this about Sebastian's case. We talked about it this morning, and I'm going to catch you up. So when I continue this evening, you know what we talked about. We talked about the fact that at the construction site, SF said Max was dropped off or driven to the construction site by car. So Max, the dog who jumped in the pond, was driven to the construction site by car, according to SF investigates. Okay. So we hear that cop on the dispatch, Max just jumped, and all that. So I think it's not because he ran from the Proudfoot home. Because remember, my source in the neighborhood said Sebastian wouldn't have walked from the Proudfoot home right to the construction site because he would have had to go through homes and been spotted and over dirt mounds, which probably means that's why Max was driven there too, right? And so when he got out of the car, he's probably running around, looking, and Max tracks ground disturbance. Max was not tracking Sebastian's scent. Max is a dog that tracks ground disturbances. Okay. And so Max tracked ground disturbances at that construction site and into the pond. Now, Two things I want to say. When we have a pond in February and a dog has let us know that there has been recent ground disruption in that pond, that's a huge red flag to me. Because no one's going to be going in that pond in the cold. They're not going to reach in, throw water on their face. They're not going to be wading in, none of that. Okay. So he jumped. There was obviously ground disturbance in that pond that Max tracked. But in February, who in the world, why in the world would anyone be in that pond? They didn't find Sebastian in there when it was drained. They didn't find anything of Sebastian's in there when it was drained. But remember, he wasn't tracking Sebastian's scent. Max was tracking ground disruption. So remember this. There is one person who has placed themselves in the pond, in my opinion. Not KP. She's never said I was in the pond. Not Seth. Never said he's walked into the pond. It is CP who says he's 5'9", and when Sebastian went missing, the water in that pond was up to his knees. He also went on to say, I don't know what it was before he went missing, and I don't know what it was after he went missing. But at the time of his disappearance, the water level was up to my knees. Bingo, boom. Put himself there, in my opinion. So I don't think it's crazy now that I'm hearing Max was driven there and some of those things were confirmed there was no scent from the house. Jumps into a pond in the cold of winter. So in my opinion, I think the person who was measuring the water was in the pond, allegedly. Or someone, remember, ground disturbance. Okay. So who's walking around in a pond or disturbing the ground, maybe throwing something on the ground? I don't know. In February, in the dark of night. Because it would happen in the dark of night because construction's starting at daylight, right? That's another thing. Ground disturbances at the construction site. They did not shut down the site. Law enforcement did not. They let the construction workers all over that construction area, bulldozers, loaders, they were still digging, they were still moving dirt. So how in the world, when you take dogs over there to look for a child, is it not alarm bells going off with investigators? You need to get these people out of this area. You need to stop these vehicles. Stop digging. Stop moving dirt. If he had fallen in a hole, they could have covered him up, allegedly. If someone placed him somewhere, they could have covered him up even more. Shocking that they were there with dogs and I'm going to say it again, Boy Scouts trying to go to war. Okay. No red alarm, no red flags, no alarms going off Sumner County, that they got dogs trying to find a missing child and they have construction workers and trucks moving in the same area. Hello. Okay. Thank you, Justice for Kylo, for not giving away that ending. You're sweet. And I'm going to come say my thank yous in just a second. I just want to get through this. So that, right? So the pond, it just doesn't make sense. Seth is going to be on Nancy Grace tonight at what time? Cinderella, what time? Yours has a symbol in there instead of a number. 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern? So, okay, so he's the only one who knows the water level. He's the only one who knew exactly at the time of disappearance where it went on his leg. Okay? So to me, something's going on with the construction site because we've got a dog that jumped in. He didn't jump in following a scent. He jumped in following the most recent ground disturbances. Now, the ground disturbances all around the construction site that Max was running around in and out, trying to find something, that could have been from construction workers. Yes, Adam Montgomery is a horrible human being who still has not revealed where his daughter's body is. Though that could have been construction workers because they were not, if they had closed the site, if they had closed the construction site and not let anyone arrive to work there, they would have been able to eliminate the construction workers as Max tracking them with ground disturbance, right? Because they said they weren't there since Sebastian was last seen. But again, Sumner County just didn't bring with them that they shouldn't have people all over there. But does that surprise you? Because guess what happened? They didn't close down the house either. They didn't lumen all the house. They didn't do forensics on the house. They didn't fingerprint the house. They let people in and out and all over. You had the step socks. You had some step foots. You had everyone in and out all over the yard, everywhere. Okay. Who does that? What investigator walks into a home? And we know because we've pulled the field report for the Department of Justice on searching for a missing child. You treat all children who are not home as missing. So you do not miss evidence in the beginning if you have to go back that way. Right? So they didn't close the construction site. Heaven knows. SF's talking about ground penetrating thermal and all that. Yeah, I'd take it too. Jen Coffindaffer agrees. I'd be over at that construction site. I'd be over there with cadaver dogs. I'd be over there with the imaging because things were moving. Concrete, dirt, you name it. Right? We need to, that's very possible that someone placed him that close. We don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he had one, Karen, but I know this morning that's what said that was on the hat. Someone saying Cinderella 7 p.m. Or you said see ya 7 p.m. Cinderella. Hi, Miss Honeybee. Rachel Reed Duncan, always good to see you. Seahawk. Hi, Dancing Queen. I've missed you too, my friend. So I don't know if he had a Vivint security system hat. I do not know, but I would hope they would have asked that. I would have been over there with the shovel too. Absolutely, Mama First. I would have been calling that. I would have been calling that precinct, going crazy if I had seen trucks moving and my child missing. Oh, Laura Trump interviewed Leland Chapman yesterday, dog's son. Thank you for letting us know that. Thank you. Okay, so we have one person who's knee deep. And a dog that jumped into the pond. What does that tell you? Who else is going in a pond in February? Yeah, they're saying tonight's that's on Nancy Grace, 7 p.m., but I don't know if that's Eastern, and I can look for you. I believe he got moved from that location near the construction site, whether it was a car, truck, or the office trailer. Oh, the Jen Benners is saying they traced the hat back to the owner, but it was not CP. Yes, I'm being told Seth is on tonight on Nancy Grace, and I will find out for you before we leave here what time. So here's what I'm saying, Maria. You're right. They didn't do their job right. A Boy Scout would have shut down the construction site. A Boy Scout would have kicked everyone out of that home. But we have Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Boy Scouts preparing for war, who didn't know better. or who chose not to. Okay? Very, 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 very concerning. It's not the scent, Jen. Remember, it's not the scent that Max was after. Max was after ground disturbance. So it's hi, Brandy and Indy. Me, Ma, Sandy, Karen Powers, Samuel. Good to see you again, Ginger Snap. I'm trying to read some comments, but Katie wore ball caps in the Navy. Not sure if she does. Hi, Karen Powers. Zoot Zin Bootsy. Hello, hello. That's another good one. Remember, this is all alleged. We won't be on YouTube till next. Oh, it won't be on YouTube till next week. Thank you, Brandy, for letting us know. Or the suspect car stopped by the construction site to discard something in the site trash. Hence the dog being confused. Could. Yes. Absolutely. Why would it go in the pond, though? Unless someone reached their hands, walked to the pond, reached their hands in. But would they have had to disturb the ground in the pond for Max to go into the pond? Right? Hi, Seahawk. Happy gal, Brenda. Yeah, Caroline Miller, I'm still stuck on the glasses that were found near the in-laws' house. Same shape, same color. I still want to know how they found out those weren't Sebastian's. Someone said they did check the prescription. Some said they did not. Some said they asked KP. Heavens, please help us if that's the case, in my opinion. Okay. Seth told them to bag them and tag them. So I don't know. That to me, hi everyone. That to me is just, I missed you too, Joanne. That to me is just a lot, right? There is a door on the side of the house that leads out that goes under the house, Silent One. Yes. That white door goes under the house. What I don't understand is CP admitted to using a belt on a child that was not his and why he has not been charged with assault on a child or child abuse. I don't either, and we talked about that today. They may not have enough physical evidence to arrest them for the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, and maybe they aren't the ones responsible. But I believe they are, in my opinion. You form your opinion. Okay? But the point of the matter is, hold on, sorry. Hi, Angel Mama. I'm sorry, you guys. What was I just talking about? I'm seeing all these great comments going. Crime Time Buzz, you sent me an email. Okay. But let's talk for a second. Someone asked me why law enforcement didn't do something, and I'm trying to get back to that. Someone asked me why didn't they just. Okay, Sharon, now remember where Sharon geofencing his truck pinged on the 25th and 26th. Sharon, do you have proof of that for us? Okay, we heard elevated truth, but we also heard him say it was the 26th in the afternoon. So do you have other proof that it pinged on the 25th and 26th? Because that is important. You are absolutely correct. Okay, thank you, Sharon, for letting me know. Okay, so let me talk about this for a second. I think we're getting close to arrest too. So let's talk about this. Okay. Many times they don't have if they don't have physical evidence right now, and we don't know everything they have, but if they don't have physical evidence, what we have seen happen, like with Oakley Carlson, they put the parents in jail for other reasons. exposing kids to drugs, neglect, abuse. Okay. Harmony Montgomery, parents were in for fraud, all sorts of things. Cody Bigsby, they got dad in there. They kept them behind bars while they searched for the children. There are ways to put parents behind bars. And yes, CP has admitted to hitting an autistic child with a weapon. That, not only that alone, but all the CPS reports is enough for him to be arrested, in my opinion, for, if that was on Justin's channel that it pinged on the 25th and 26th, Justin's pretty good about making sure things are correct. Okay. So, I don't know, you guys, it just, I don't know. Oakley was Washington State case, yes. So we've got, I don't know. You've got these parents who are behind bars. We've got an abuse situation going on record, documented from CPS. We have an open case from CPS. We have verbal admittance from him himself, CP, admitting to this, hitting an autistic child with a belt. They could arrest him and put him behind bars. Absolutely. Now, another thing. One of the charges that Australia is trying to get William Tyrrell's foster mom on is impeding an investigation. Obstructing. When you lie to an officer during an investigation, that is illegal. Hey, Kendall, that's illegal. I believe, in my opinion, both of them could be put behind bars for reasons other than Sebastian's disappearance if they don't have enough right now. Okay? They should be behind bars. Okay? In my opinion, for those offenses. I also believe KP should be behind bars for allowing someone to 5 times be reported to harming her son and leaving her son and her in that home. She is the keeper of Sebastian. She is responsible for Sebastian. She did not remove him from that house. She was the last one to see him. Period. She is the one who can't get a timeline straight. She is the one who cannot remember the last words she said to her son. They change, and when. She is the one who can't remember what her son said last and when. All weird. All weird, in my opinion. Okay? When we evoke the Fifth Amendment right, saying, I don't want to incriminate myself, because that's why you invoke that right to silence, is so you don't incriminate yourself. When you invoke that right and people are out looking for your child, what you're saying is, in my opinion, if I open my mouth, I'm going to make myself sound and look guilty. Okay? There you go. Where are ya? Come on out. Come out. Come out wherever you are. Your son is missing. Show your face, please. She should be in jail. She was in charge of a child with disabilities and has lost him, according to her. In my opinion, she should be behind bars. She has not told the truth, because if we pulled up all these interviews, there cannot be this many truths. Absolutely cannot be. We have to locate Sebastian. And an overwhelming percentage of you in our poll, 70 to 80%, I don't have the figure right off the top of my head, said you believe the way we're going to find Sebastian, and I agree with you, is arrests need to be made and someone needs to lead us to him. Because we have a stepfather saying we're never going to find him. Now, if that stepfather is put behind bars for the abuse and the belt, and maybe they give him a belting, stand there and keep whipping him with the belt, right? Till he opens his little mouth as to where the boy is. Hi, Sandy. So good to see you. So it's just, I'm sorry. Get up, get out of your chairs. And I'm not saying they're seated. Because I know they're working hard. I'm saying put them behind bars, because when you do, Sumner County, Proudfoot, he's going to sing. He doesn't, I don't think he's loyal. I think he will, to get out, he will make a deal. Hi, Canadian Cookie. Tomorrow, 2 days is 11 months. Well, tomorrow's 11 months since he was seen at the Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, right, Jen. Absolutely, Karen Powers. I agree with you. If we put one of them behind bars, now, I don't think, in my opinion, and you form your own, I think CP would cry like a baby and sing like a bird if he was put behind bars. Mama's boys do that, in my opinion. But now we're hearing Katie, fighter, can kick his ass and has tough cookie. I don't think she would speak, but she still should sit there. I agree with you, the path. I agree with you. She's a tough cookie, and the only way he's tough is when Mama's tough for him, in my opinion. She's bailed him out of everything, and if he goes to jail, she can't get him out. So he's gonna sing his way out of there, disloyal as he can be, just to get himself out of the situation. Because, in my opinion, he's not faced accountability, because look what they did to get him out of his situation with Nina and the baby, and that whole debacle. The whole family got involved, baseball bats and chasing people down highways 80 miles an hour, allegedly. Ridiculous. Okay. And if they can do that and plan that by getting her to move from California or New Mexico to Tennessee, wherever it was, imagine. That's good planning, right? Because that's where once they got her to move, that's where their plan went into action. Okay. So, and Angel Mama, I know you switched your name and I can't remember who you were before, so please forgive me. Forgive me. So that's where we're at. They need to put him behind bars, because when people that selfish lose their ability to move past a distance of 4 feet, they may start thinking about Sebastian's life. But selfish people won't think about Sebastian's life until it affects them, because they did it. I agree, Jen Benners. I think there's a whole slew of them. I've got one family member that I think if they were there's 2 family members I think also if they should bring in, well, 4. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. So that's what we talked about. So foul play. We have one little boy who's been missing 10 years. Person of interest is his foster mother. Any day now, we're going to hear from Australia what the coroner's inquiry decided on cause and manner of death, which tells us, have they found evidence that he is deceased? Because remember, now they're looking at the foster mom. Law enforcement's new theory is that they believe he fell from a high balcony at foster grandma's, and foster mom may have gotten scared, covered it up, turned a crime into an accident, or an accident into a crime, because she was afraid to lose the other child that was in her care. Okay? Tony, it's so good to see you. So we have similarities. Shroud of secrecy over that case. No evidence that people know of after 10 years. Maybe it's because law enforcement does not want to share the little bit they have. Also, a surprise visit to grandma's that day. Just like Sebastian, Sunday fun day that day. Okay? Both boys were with their mothers when they went missing. Fathers weren't home. Both boys live with non-biological family members. Okay? Both boys were involved in situations of abuse and neglect, and or William, his biological parents allegedly disappeared, and there were alleged things of abuse and neglect. Now remember, there's not a lot on this case, so this is what we've got, right? So that's what they have on that. Sebastian, 5 CPS cases. Both boys are missing. Both boys Moms are a little fishy. Sebastian's mom invoked the Fifth Amendment rather than answering questions about her son's disappearance when she was the last person to see her son. And Williams, I mean, they won't even show their face. They've never said their name in 10 years. They very, very, very strange. Okay. But the mothers are both a little odd. Um, and that's the similarities in those cases. Also, where foster grandma lives is not a place with a lot of ongoing traffic. It's off the path. You have to be going there for a purpose in that neighborhood, just like Sebastian's. Okay. And they did not get a sighting of someone taking him. They did not have a sighting of a car that could have taken him. No one saw him leave, just like Sebastian. Okay. Then we have Khloe. Let me hide this. Khloe Smith. She was taken. And the similarity to Sebastian's is Khloe was sleeping. Mom right in the house. Well, not in the house. Mom in the tent. They were camping. Stepdad in the tent. So we have similarity. Each have a stepdad, Khloe and Sebastian. And the sister was in the tent. All four sleeping. The zipper to the tent up higher, above to where Khloe could reach it, zipped up, and everyone in bed. Mom, just like KP says, locked up, went to bed. Mom wakes up. Khloe's missing at 6 a.m. Mom wakes up. Sebastian's missing at 6 a.m. The public starts going crazy. Khloe's stepdad and mom, pointing the finger at him because that zipper was higher than where Khloe was. And you would have heard someone come in that tent and pull Khloe out. You would have heard that. They would have heard that. How could they have not heard that? How could someone have zipped that back up? Sound familiar there a little bit? Right? Kind of like, how did the house get locked back up? But we know how the house got locked back up at Sebastian's, because Sebastian's mother told us only immediate family have that ability. Okay? So, Sebastian's not found. William's not found. Both of them have parents who haven't been cleared, or foster parents, or non biological parents who haven't been cleared. Summer Wells, not found. 3.5 years. Her parents have not been cleared. Oakley Carlson, not found. Going on 4 years. Parents have not been cleared. They think mom may have sold her for gambling money. Harmony Montgomery, never been found. Dad's sitting in prison, charged with her unaliving. Still not found. Cody Bigsby, not found. Dad's charged, sitting in prison with his unaliving. William, not found. Mom's the person of interest. See that pattern? Why are we not finding kids when the parents are the persons of interest? The West boys, Jacqueline and Trezell, the foster parents, sitting in prison, both charged with those boys unaliving. The boys have not been found. Parents again. Khloe Smith, the 1% taken by a stranger. Khloe was located. Why are we not finding kids that are taken by their parents? Allegedly. Kyron Horman, haven't found him. Stepmama was the last to see him. Okay. So just things we want to, as we bring awareness to other cases, we can pull with Sebastian's case and other current cases what we're seeing in those cases. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm seeing this. Hold on. Terrence Kelly, yes, that's the person who took Khloe Smith. He got 13 years, 6 months, but he needs to serve 11 of those years before he can be eligible for parole, Sharon. Thank you for the Maddie Soto. Yes, we got to talk about Maddie. Ariel, thank you, Grandma. I'm writing some of these down, y'all. Ariel Kalua. Thank you. Maddie. I have already got Maddie down on my list. And someone had said another little boy's name today, Fernandez. Filicide is harder to determine without a body. And how are these parents, family members, so expertly, without evidence, hiding these bodies? Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the points. Those are things we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep pulling. I do want to say, hit the notification. Please subscribe if you haven't. We are going to be getting results back from that query for William and hear what they determined. Are they going to charge the foster mom with pestering the investigation? Wrong word, but I'm just going to say that. And moving the corpse. Is she going to be charged? I want to know. Also, who's the other child that the foster parents had taken from them? Was CPS taken? Was it kidnapped? What happened? So hit that notification bell for William Tyrrell, because we are going to keep going on this case. 10 years missing out of Australia. Khloe Smith, 18 days, a stranger, that 1%, and she was found very near her family home, in a room locked with Bratz dolls, with a weirdo who brought his fantasies with his dolls to life by having Khloe. He wanted to play dress up. Yeah, they go on like life is normal. That's what, absolutely, Caroline. That is what's shocking. Yes, look at Gannon. Stepmom unalived him, hid him in a suitcase, put him under a bridge in Florida. Yes, Monkey has not been found. Correct. There are suspects in Monkey's case, though, and they do believe he was there. I need to tell you some of my Monkey stories. I went to Fruitland, 1 year mark of his disappearance. I was standing right next to the Wondrous home and had no idea who they were or that he was allegedly put there, because I went right from the airport to the home of 2 registered sex offenders who are married and live right next door to the Wondras. I didn't know the Wondras at that time. And I was on Google Earth and saw, at the time of the disappearance of Michael, they had an RV in their driveway, 2 registered sex offenders, an RV, they're married, and the steps were down and the door was open. First place I went when I landed in Fruitland, and just kind of getting a feel for things, right? Looking around. And I did hear from a local, by the way, that originally, so imagine I was shaking in my boots in November when they are digging next door to the house I was standing next to. I was like, oh my gosh, shaking that I was that close to Monkey, possibly, if he was there. Just imagine that. Okay. So tears ran dry. I would never leave my home or stop looking, and no one would ever take, change, or move anything of my child's without my permission, which I probably wouldn't give. Okay. So we have a lot going on. Khloe is now a gymnast, enjoys gymnastics. She's happy. Her nightmares are subsiding. She had a lot of nightmares, a lot of sadness. She's starting it. Last year, it was still happening. This year, it's a little bit better. Okay. Forensics is what led them to her. A tip about a car, the car pinging, cell phone pinging, and they went in and got her right out of the house. Okay. So, oh yeah. So I'll tell you the last story about Monkey that I found out. So I'm at the house next to Wonders, right? So when I see them digging up Wonders' house, I find out that in the beginning of the searches, very beginning, they went to the RSO, registered sex offenders house that I was looking at. Law enforcement did, with the dogs, right? And the dogs left and ran over to the Wondrous home, to their front door. That's what one of the locals told me. And they were not home. They did not answer, at least. Let's put it that way. Okay. So the dogs did hit on the Wanderer's home that first night. Interesting, right? In the beginning. I should say first or second, because I don't know if they made it to the registered sex offenders the first day, the second day. I would hope it was the first. Okay. So we have kids who go missing by their parents, kids who go missing by a stranger, the lowest percentage, parents selling kids into trafficking. We have in Tennessee, in East Tennessee, there's a huge problem in Summers area of parents renting out. Their biggest problem with trafficking in East Tennessee, and I need to find that article for you from a few years ago, and I will, is oh yeah. Juicy Jules, I'll read your message in a second. Um, what was I saying? Okay. So oh, I forgot what I was saying, y'all. I'm sorry. I got distracted again. Yeah, okay. Being mom missing. Brandy just devastated, and Tyler was on Michael Vaughn's watch. He was watching him, yes. Okay. Yeah, okay. This one too. Come on. Yeah, Grandis and Candace. But East Tennessee, thank you, Sandy. You got me back on track. The biggest East Tennessee in Summers area of trafficking, or was a few years ago, and I read in an article, is trafficking their kids right out of their home, renting their kids out of the home. Um, and we heard rumors of that with Summer. We heard rumors of that with Summer that they would rent her out to people down in that shed. Do we know if they took her and brought her back or things occurred down there? We don't even know if it's true. Yes, we were just talking about Michael Monkey. Yes, we were, and we are going to cover his case because there's some things going on with his case too, and wonders. So yes, Kingsport's a very scary area, in my opinion. So they are renting their children out of their homes, not selling them forever goodbye, renting them out of their homes for income. Yes, prayers up for Brandy Neil Vaughn. Brandy Neil Vaughn. She and Tyler got married. And Tyler and all of their loved ones, that they have answers soon. This has taken a huge toll on Brandy's health. So let's pray for them as well. Let's pray for William's safety, return home. Remember, it's never too late. If we don't have proof of death, we still could get proof of life. Okay? That's the accurate time lapse that changed Monkey's life. I don't know what you mean. The time lapse. Oh, bye, Carol. Have a great time at dinner. That's the accurate time lapse that changed Monkey's life. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, and we can't figure it out because we're not criminal minded. And people keep saying to me, this is something I want to explain because I get this all the time. If, yeah, Brandy's very ill, let's pray for her. I really want her to have answers. The set one few years ago, before I had to take a break on my channel because my mom needed me and I was working and all that, and I just didn't have the time to research. Brandy had come on my show. She had just jumped up on panel, and one of the last shows I did on Michael, that she came on, she said it was this. I'll never forget it. She said, "I don't even know what size my little boy's foot is," and honestly, I think I cried. Okay, I really do. I think I just cried right there. So very sad. Imagine that. So we're praying for them all today. All these kids, a new year. Let's get them home. Let's get them home, right? Let's bring them all home. If you're in the middle of a dental appointment and still trying to watch, well, Jazzy, I am honored. I am honored. So we got one missing 10 years, one missing, it will be 11 months and 2 days, and one taken by a stranger who was found 18 days later. Australia offering $1 million rewards, the government. Okay, $1 million rewards. Sebastian has a $250,000 reward. No one coming forward. What does that tell us? We have a hit in the pond and a step parent who allegedly puts himself at the time of the disappearance in the pond, the water measured up to his knee, but he doesn't know what it was before or after. Yeah, Tyler was changing Bug's diaper, and he went to order pizza and came out, and Michael had left the couch and went outside. Very, very sad. Yes, that's what I was just talking about. The West boys. Yes, Juicy Jules. I mentioned them. Their parents or foster parents didn't report them missing right away. Grand jury indicted them without bodies. They have never been found. Parents moved cities. Red flag. The boys have never been found, but the parents have been convicted and are in prison. Okay. So, I mean, that pattern. How are the parents putting kids places? Is it because they have, love you too, Jazzy. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, is it because they have the time to plot where they would put a child? I don't understand. Yeah, we're going to dig into Michael's case this week. Okay. We really are. We're going to get into some things that I've been wanting to cover. So that's it, my friends. I will most likely be back on tonight in about 3 hours. I've missed being with you. So today I have all sorts of time. So I am going to take advantage of my time being with you. And I want to thank Grandma for modding and for becoming a new member again. NJ's, good to see you. Thank you for the donation and the sticker. Jules to Kelly, same to you. Thank you for the super sticker. Jen Benners, thank you for being a member for 2 months. He is interviewing. I'm sorry I didn't put that up there, Jen. He is interviewing apparently tonight, but he is not going to be on until next week. Okay, I hope that helps. Jen, thank you for your support and loyalty, and also for being an amazing mod in Reality Wins. I'm going to say the same to you. Thank you for your support for 2 months. That's all we really had memberships for, and I owe you guys a few. And that's why I am doing members lives tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So we're going to get back to it, and I'm probably going to do a prize giveaway at each one. So thank you for everything you do. Please spread William's story. Please spread Sebastian's story. Summers, Oakley's, Harmony's, Cody's, the West Boys. So many. Kyron, Lisa Irwin. All I need is Jesus, Coffee, and True Crime. Good to see you. And look at this, our sweet Jen, growing the family. Please thank Jen. Jen, thank you so much. Jen is responsible for 10 new family members. Welcome to the family. Welcome in. Everyone, please welcome our new family members. Love you back. All I need is Jesus. New members in the house. Okay, my friends, I will see you in a few hours. Let me make sure I've said plenty. I want to always make sure that I get my thank yous in. And if I ever forget someone, and also to let you know, sometimes I get off of here and someone has hit up the Cash App or the PayPal, but I don't get those alerts during my live. So if you do that, just in the chat, put that in there. Just say PayPal or Cash App so I can thank you. Thank you so much. You're all amazing. Mods, you do such a great job. Thank you so much. I have a huge waiting list for mods. Appreciate all of you who want to be mods. And all of you who are part of our family, if you're visiting, welcome in. Hit the subscribe, you won't be sorry. Hit the notification bell because we're getting info on William Tyrrell's case very, 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 very soon. We are buzz watching. That's right, too many shoes. And also hit that notification bell for any updates on Sebastian. Praise God, Khloe was found and that look at that smile on her face. She's doing gymnastics. You know, that's a blessing. She's affected and she always will be. And she has a family that's helping her. Yes, please like and subscribe. It's free and so helpful. And I appreciate all of you. Prayers up for all the children and all of you. And I will see you all next time. I want to say tonight, but just in case we don't know what's going to happen, with family, I won't, but I'm hoping to see you this evening. And thank you all so much for your support, for being here. Prayers up for William, Sebastian, and Chloe's continuing healing. Thank you so much. I love you too, Jules to Kelly. You all are wonderful. Talk soon.